Darializa's in the building, everybody. We were supposed to go up to your district, but you know. Wait. Oh yeah, you crank it up. All right. Copy the link. Oh, you sent it to me on Discord. Okay, good. We're gonna be. What are we doing? We're joining. It sounds good, right? We're joining the DSA Zoom call right now. Hopefully, there's definitely going to be some issues because there's always some issues when I do this. I have to sign in. I don't have a Zoom account. Do you have one?
Are you serious?
Do you want to use yours?
Yeah. Jesus
Here.
Christ.
Or do I have one? I might have one. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see if I have one. Oh, wait. It's not. Use your Apple account. If it doesn't work, we'll do.
I'm screaming.
Okay, you know what? Let's use yours.
Okay.
Sorry.
Maybe that's why I wasn't letting me in earlier too.
Perhaps. Let me see if I can get my freaking. Why is it?
It's two screens.
Hi everyone. Your special guest is back. Imagine this fucking working. Excuse my language. Seb, do you have a Zoom account on you? All right, we're just gonna say the password. We're gonna figure this out. We're fine.
Wait, you're gonna have to literally go to your email, log into your email.
Yeah, no, my email's already.
Oh, your email's on your phone. That's true.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
you've never heard of it? Are you familiar with?
That's crazy.
Devices?
I hope you brought me a gift.
I brought you a gift.
You brought me a gift.
And that's why I'm late, actually.
Okay.
I don't know if you've gotten one yet.
Oh, I have not. I was looking for one today. Look at that. No, there was Bianca actually promised me another gift. And
I have it.
Okay, good. All right, we'll do that later then.
Do you guys know that Hasan is extremely demanding?
Yes, all the time.
Very annoying.
Yeah.
You didn't even say thank you for.
Thank you so much for the great
You
post.
never actually greeted me and say hello. How are you?
Yeah,
Just said Bianca, sign us up.
because we went into panic mode. You're trying to log on, and then I have to do the camera stuff too.
Isn't that all you guys hear, guys? Yeah.
Yeah, they pay good money for the yapping for 8 hours a day, actually.
Oh my God.
Also those yappers were yapping on the phones on the phone bank.
They were.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful.
They were yapping the entire district's face off.
Y'all really came through.
This is a disaster.
You think that old lady that we talked to saw you on Democracy Now! This morning and was like, "Oh my God."
Which old lady?
The old lady that was yelling at us. In the yellow dress.
I've had a number of old ladies.
Okay, there was an old lady that was yelling at us that was like, Israel's bombing hospitals.
Oh, true.
And then we had like a long conversation with her, and then I was able to like I was able to calm her down a little bit by being like, "Oh, I was on Democracy Now!" Because she
I remember it. Yeah, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I watched Democracy Now!" And all these things.
She probably watched it this morning.
I hope
that's not how you
get the. Oh, is it open? No, it's not.
No, that's not the link. Here, okay. We'll go back to the link.
We'll do this again.
Okay.
That was so funny that was how she knew you.
Yeah, and now
of
we have
all
to
of the things she was saying,
again.
Democracy Now! Was not what I would have pinned her.
We're gonna figure it out, guys. We're gonna figure it out, and it's gonna be great.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Is it here?
What?
Oh my God! Look who is on the call.
Okay, wait. Can I?
Go back. Here, sorry.
All I saw was a red screen.
You know what's so interesting, Chad?
Olivia Reingold's
they haven't moved over so that I could more comfortably put in my password.
Sorry. Would you like to sit here?
No, I don't need to sit. I just need. Do you want to move? Jesus Christ!
We framed it. I don't want to ruin the frame. This is Mazan scene.
I'll reframe it.
Thank you.
Olivia Reingold's in the call on the DSA call.
Who that?
She follows me. You don't know who Olivia Reingold is?
No, I live under a rock.
Oh, she's gonna. Yeah, no thanks. Don't save the password unless you want me to log into your Zoom account from time to time and make calls and call your dad. You're like, what's up? What's good?
Oh, the picture just came from last night.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, you have worse ADHD than I do. That's crazy.
Well,
we're just waiting for.
She's waiting for the one-time passcode.
Do you guys like my outfit?
It's great.
You know, I actually have that same dress.
Abercrombie.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't know if we're able to say that they're back, but they kind of are back.
So,
All right.
I don't know if that's a well-kept secret, but I feel like people are shocked when I say that.
You're still not getting it?
No, hold on. The Wi-Fi is terrible in here. Here we go. Here we go. We're up. We're up. Not quite yet. All right.
Did you no, you tried to touch it. You tried to touch it. Okay, hold on. Wait, we got to figure out the camera. Hold on.
And I'm truly honored to be part of this movement.
Okay.
So let's talk about
No, it
what
works.
we are going
Virtual
to
camera
do.
works. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Last year, we won a momentous people's victory. We
I'll fix
shook
it.
the political establishment. And there were so many people who, when Arnel Marangoni won, thought that this was a fluke, but also we really lesson that
I guess we're muted by...
we had to succeed.
Yeah,
we have to succeed in order for us to really prove that as a left we can win races, but we can also do it in such an extremely competent way. And by this year, with us winning these state races, what we are showing is that we are going to sustain that victory. And we're sustaining that victory by winning more and more races and appealing to more and more voters. And we're also going to sustain that victory in the left, in state governance, because the way that we are going to pass the policies that Darializa promised to millions of New Yorkers is by getting the funding through the state legislature. And if we want fast and free buses, if we want an expanded universal child care, if we want to really make sure that our public schools are funded, that our public housing is funded, we have to make sure that we're getting that funding through this.
Abir, you muted yourself, so we can't hear you anymore.
Okay, can you all hear me now?
Yes, and actually you sound better, so great.
Okay, great. Okay, apologies. I am in the beautiful Astoria Park celebrating this win with my family.
But like I said, to sustain the people's victory, we have to get the revenue through the state legislature. So here are the very important things that we are going to do to win. We are going to pass the tax to rich policies. This is a set of policy priorities that will create income tax, corporate tax revenue that will fund things like universal child care, that will fund things like fast and free choice, that will give us more funding to deal with, because we know in the state that so many legislators are compromising because they are dealt with a budget like one we got this year, where our governor presented the budget late, added discriminatory policies like buffers on bills in the budget, and was forcing legislators to negotiate the whole policies through the budget. So we're going to fight against that. We're also going to make sure that we're going to be great legislators in office. That is going to help us sustain the people's victory. And there's more for us to win. We need to win universal income. We need to win healthcare for all. The New York Health Act has been sitting in the state legislature for years, but it has not been passed. So I will say that when we have pitched ourselves to so many progressive endorsers, to union endorsers, they have asked, what differentiates you between another progressive? Because in our race, and specifically in my race, we proved that in the progressive realm, that we are the right choice, and we are the choice that voters want. But many people did not give us endorsements, many people did not support us because they were skeptical of our ability to actually doing things in office. Now, actually, in reality, if you look at the Socialist in Office project, so many of the bills that you will find on endorsement forms for some of the most progressive organizations, unions, they were almost 80% of them were actually sponsored or written or introduced by our Socialists in Office. So we are leaders. We are able to govern. And again, we are not going to allow ourselves to be left in this position where governor and leadership are going to be pushing us to shape their own policy priorities. Because what we prove when we win our races is that people will not continue to allow their elected officials to not stand up for justice, to not stand down to the right bills, And they will vote them out if they are not going to do so. And that is going to shake up the way that politics works in the state legislature. So we're going to sustain the people's victory by winning the policy. We are going to make sure that we're using this internal, external strategy that we have in our campaigns, and not just our electoral campaigns, but even our campaigns to tax the rich, our campaigns for the new campaigns. We are using organizers on the ground and working with them to create the conditions for more policymakers to stand on and get those things passed. There is not a lack of good policy in state. There is a lack of political will to pass that policies, and we as socialists in office are the best equipped to make sure that political will is changing for the working class. Lastly, I will say in our campaign, if you compare us to our opponent, we had similar policy priorities. But the thing that people really respected about our campaign was that they felt confident in the political consistency and morality of our base. We ran an anti-war campaign. We ran a campaign that was in one of the most diverse communities where we talked about diversity, not just in terms of representation, but we said if we're going to win amazing, affordable, the affordability agenda, affordability policies for our district and for New Yorkers, we're not going to do that at the expense of others. We said we're fighting for the world and the world's good. And we celebrated our diversity through international solidarity. We celebrated our diversity by not spearheading American exceptionalism, but making sure that the policies that we win, whether they're a climate policy, whether they're better salaries for people in our district, whether they're better working conditions, are not coming at the expense of others. And that was a message that resonated with so many voters. Lastly, I will say we made history with our race because inshallah, I will be the first Palestinian American elected official in New York State at large. And so many thought that our campaign was just about Palestine. But we know that Palestine has always been a proxy. Palestine has been an issue that so many people have erased and not spoken about, and it has shown the moral clarity and consistency, or the lack of moral clarity and consistency of elected officials. And we showed that people want moral clarity and consistency. If they will trust legislators, we are actually going to fight for them. They trust them to fight for them and to pass the policy for them because of their advocating for Palestinian human rights, they're advocating against war, they're advocating for international solidarity. These were all things that voters were looking for and resonated with voters. And this is a new chapter for us because we are building a politic, a true socialist politic in the electoral work that we do.
Thank you, Avir. We are so excited to get you into the state Senate, to be fighting for Palestinian liberation with you, and to be organizing a Socialists in Office project at the state level with you. But speaking of Socialists in Office, I believe we now have Darializa on the line. She, as well as Claire, are going to be joining AOC and Chris Rabb, and hopefully some other people. And oh my God, I didn't know we had another guest. Great to see you. But Darializa, over to you. Please tell us about your race, about building uptown and building across the country.
Yeah, well, I am just so deeply grateful to every member of our coalition, but especially DSA and Justice Democrats, because I think y'all really, we built a dream team together. And I'm just so grateful for all the work that everyone put in, the amount of energy and love that was poured into building this movement and this campaign cannot be overstated. I'm really so deeply grateful. I came into this campaign with folks telling me that it was over before it even started, and that there was no way that we could take on a machine like Espaillat's, that there was no way that an organizer could build out a political electoral campaign. And together we built something out that people, even till the week before the election, were really underestimating. And we won, right? And I think that just speaks volumes to the power of organizing people. There were $7 million that were spent against me to attack me and my personhood, and not any of the policies that we were actually fighting for, because we know that those were actually really popular policies. There was a spill over here. But these were critiques not of the policies, because we know that these policies are ones that are popular, that people want, that New Yorkers want, and that the people of New York 13 were hungry for. This is a politic that was actually part of the politic that is rooted in the history of that district, where you have so many socialist movements from people of color, so many of our giants in the Black radical tradition, in the Latino organizing tradition, were coming out of New York 13. And so it was just such a deep privilege to be able to organize around these principles in a community that has not been able to reap the benefits of that type of organizing in decades. And I'm just so excited to be able to build that out on a national level, to scale it, to address the issues that we're facing right now. And so deeply, deeply grateful to every single person who was part of this campaign. I think really the fact that we were able to bring together a coalition of organizations that were able to help build out an infrastructure, build out an organizing system, and make sure that we got all of the resources and people power needed to win here was so crucial. And so I came into this knowing that I wanted it to be part of building movement work, knowing that I wanted people to join their political homes. So if you are here and you're not a DSA member, join DSA, because I really want us to be able to build this people power that will help us deliver in the long run. Because this isn't just about the seat. It's not even about this one moment in history. It is about making sure that people are brought into our politics and find homes and political homes that they'll stay in. I'm so grateful. I want us to just take the time to join DSA, be a card carrying member. And we need more socialists, actually. We need more of them. We have actually another race coming up in Denver with Melat Kiros, who is facing an incumbent who is just as bad as Espaillat. So let's get that one out as well and get Melat in, because she's just an incredible human being and an incredible candidate. And I would be so honored to get to call her my colleague in Congress. So please make sure that you support her as well. Sign up to phone bank with her. Please support her. Also, donate to all of these races. We have a number of other races still coming up down the pipeline that we really, really need to support. And I think we need to do all the things that we did in my race, whether that is going out to canvas in person, phone banking, donating, because it's so deeply important. Again, I was up against $7 million and we still beat that. And we can do the same in all these other races. But next in the pipeline is Melat, so please support her. And thanks, y'all.
Yeah, it's coming up on next Tuesday in Denver, Colorado. It's one of the youngest districts. I think it might literally be the youngest district in the country. Diane DeGette is a faux progressive that hasn't really moved the needle as much and hasn't really done right by her constituents. And they also have the same exact appetite that your district had as well. So many people outside kept saying over and over again, they're only in here every 4 years. They only see Adriana, and there's a real opportunity to make change here. So many people were activated by your campaign. They were so excited to be a part of it, and there were a lot of people who were asking, like, how can we support it, even if we're not in the district? And I think we did see a huge impact on the phone banking, especially at the final hour. And I think we can make that happen for Melat as well. I'm just here as her lawyer. That's why I'm sitting here. Yeah.
Yeah, you look
Thank you for the
very
compliment.
official. No. It's good. It's good. We didn't know you'd be on.
I didn't either.
But as y'all can see, so we dropped the chats from the links from a lot in the chat. Thanks in part to Hasan, actually, on Monday and Tuesday. We had 600 people on a phone bank, and we got over 1,300 positive IDs for Darializa. Between the IDs we got on that phone bank and on the Tuesday phone bank, I'm just saying it was the margin of victory. So were the phone banks why we won? Maybe. You could do that from a lot. But you could also be powering what's happening in New York City. We got our tracker up. We know people love a tracker. I love a tracker. I'm tracker pilled. we want to get to 5,000 in recurring donations. That will allow us to get more than 2 staffers. We're doing all this with 2 staffers. We would love to do more with slightly more staffers. So please click in there. But Hasan, Dari, anything else y'all want to add before we move on?
You know, I'm grateful to every single one of you who knocked on doors, who did a phone bank. So grateful to you, Hasan. To
I didn't do
DSA.
anything.
You brought so many people out to that phone bank, so let's not undersell it. And I'm so grateful to every single person, because we really showed that you can have a vision and you can have fight in you and actually deliver for people. And so to everyone who wants to continue to do that work, please join DSA. Please, please, please just keep organizing, because we can build a better world together.
I will tell you this much. There are a lot of races out there, and there are a lot of fantastic DSA candidates all around the country that are running. You're obviously one of them. And for me, whenever I felt anxiety, I would like hit up Michael Lang and I'd be like, give me something good. Like, tell me something good. And he was not telling me good things, I'll be honest with you. And he was wrong, luckily. Fraud. Anyway, but whenever I felt in any way, shape, or form anxious, I think like the phone bank stuff that we did the last night, it really helped me. And I think it can help you guys as well. Whenever you feel like a race is close, or if you feel nervous about the outcome, you can be that change that you want to see, and it will soothe your anxiety. You will actually feel a lot better. And then when we get over the hump, then you can take credit for it a little bit too.
Amazing. Well, you heard it here, guys. Soothe your anxiety by joining DSA. So I'm going to bring on Alicia Singham Goodwin, who is one of our leaders, a steering committee member, and also a stalwart organizer uptown, a future constituent of Darializa, to talk a little bit about what the chapter itself is doing, what we've been doing with electeds, what we're going to be doing for the next year, 2 years, 50 years of socialism. Alicia, come on over.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Grace. Like Grace said, my name is Alicia. I'm a DSA member living in Harlem. I was so thrilled to be able to cast my ballot for Darializa. 10 years ago, when I started organizing in my neighborhood, I could never have imagined that one day my congressperson and my mayor would be fellow DSA members, people that I've met, that I've canvassed with, who I trust and look up to, who are committed to the same project as I am. But we've got more work to do. So how are we actually going to win on all the things that Abir talked to us about? And I'll say honestly, it's up to all of you. Nothing is a given right now. These electoral victories are truly exhilarating, but they're just one piece of building the power that we need to transform people's lives. So concretely, we're fighting to win the affordability agenda that we campaigned so hard for during Zoran's mayoral race. We are going to freeze the rent tomorrow. We've got a campaign for fast and free buses. We have to make the leap from the exciting Mayor's 2K pilot program to really universal childcare. And like Abir said, if we're going to do that, we need to have enough money by taxing the rich. And so next year in Albany, 2027 is going to be all about that. We'll have the same uphill battle that we've had every year we fought to tax the rich, but we're going in with double the number of our socialists in office, and hopefully double the number of DSA members on the ground to really keep the pressure
What
up.
are we doing here?
And who knows, if we grow and we build enough between now and then, the next year in 2028, we might be working on a campaign for a Democratic Socialist for president.
I want to see those numbers go up.
We need you to join DSA. We need you to pay local dues, but I'm going to ask you to do something a little harder, which is to become an organizer.
I will carry the flame.
It's all about having conversations.
But only after Darializa leaves.
If you, like me, were in the playground, in your elevator, chatting up to everyone, saying, have you voted for Darializa yet? I hope you'll go back to those same people and really talk about what we're building. Ask them
that I play
and I will pass it back to Gustavo.
And I played it a lot during the phone bank as well. I was like, if we get to 400.
Oh my God. Right. I'm loving seeing the ticker go up. We've got 273
Look at
new
that,
DSA
see? I
members
told you.
since our victory
It moves so
last
fast, I
night.
can't actually read it.
No, I'm
Since
saying, like, look,
when we won the mayoral
went up.
race,
when I
we
yell
got
at
like
them, they're
1,000 new
pay pigs.
members.
Oh,
So
interesting.
let's keep those numbers
I yell at them
climbing.
and then they
And
donate.
I really want to highlight the donation goal. Monthly recurring donations in New York City DSA are how we fund our work. It's what makes everything possible. This cycle, around 2 weeks ago, probably some of you remember, we started to have a series of emergency all-member snap calls because
Oh my
we
God.
were getting alarming
Why are you guys
information
breaking my
from
hotel
early
room?
voting records
What is
that young people were
happening
not
right
turning
now?
out.
We are
were
delirious.
also
This is crazy.
We are all
the
delirious.
internal state of some of our campaigns were
I'm
really
running on
not where
2
we
hours
wanted them
sleep.
to be, and at the same time we were facing a media environment that was kind of creating a sense of
Damn.
complacency.
Yeah,
And
Alright,
we were
3,000.
able
Get up for
to
democracy now. She was
quickly
great. I love
shift
Emmy Goodman.
gears. We
She's the
organized
queen.
a series of
queen,
large
but I had to get up
rallies.
there
We had
for
these
it.
huge phone banks with
I,
Hasan. We had the
I've
emergency
had to do
meetings
it
every
from
week.
LA.
Yeah.
We did community
so
walks
like
with
fucking
Zoran,
5
Oh, wow, that
a.m.
is-
bar
that is
crawls, we
brutal.
or
went
9,
clubbing.
yeah, like they do the
we
tech check at like 4:30.
importantly
Yeah.
got 90 Link NYC terminals to put up GeoTV ads for DSA throughout the city. All of that costs money to keep running, especially the Link NYC ads. And if we want to keep running candidates, if we want to be able to move quickly, if we want to get new office space so we can embed in multiracial working class communities in New York City, we're going to
That's
need
so
to keep
funny.
fundraising for the chapter.
What are you guys laughing about?
I really encourage you all to
really big gulp and
take out your phones,
delirious.
scan these QR
We are also
codes,
delirious on this
and
campaign. We have not
join our
slept in a while.
movement. Without all of you,
Dark
without
woke
growing,
money. Yeah.
none of this would have been possible. We knocked over 700,000 doors this year.
No, we can't.
ran
We can't mute
10
this call
campaigns,
and
the biggest
talk
slate
to
we've ever
Darializa. She
run.
has to be on the call.
Let's keep it up. Let's hire more staff.
I
Let's
think I can actually
open new
go with
offices.
We can leave.
And
I'm
I'm really
allowed to.
excited to see all of you.
Well, we're actually almost
there.
at 5,000.
Yeah. We'll wait
So
till we get to
let's get to
5,000.
5,000 and then we can talk.
And we're like $300 away or $200 away from our goal of 5,000. Can we?
They won't
We're
let me
one
do it. I was
minute-
gonna say we're carrying
1
the flame
minute
of
from the
5,000.
call being over, so I think we can get there. I feel like we can get to $5,000.
Okay, I'll be carrying the
and
flame
300
after.
DSA members.
Okay, I might.
In a
I don't
minute.
want her to. I don't want her to
believe
get
in us.
another attack.
Also, this
It's
is
like a hit piece.
these are
So-
I would like
monthly
to not have
donations,
to
right?
do
So
To my counsel.
Yeah.
I
So
would
that's,
like to-
Yes.
actually
As
like
your lawyer, I'm
$60,000
advising
in
against
1
this.
year, which is almost the salary for a staffer, or about half.
Oh God.
Okay.
There was 900 new
I don't want to
signups.
end the
I heard.
call. Okay, 300 members.
just-
For DSA?
how's
yeah,
our
just,
donation ticker doing?
Probably even higher now.
Members
That's
are
like
more
after
important.
yesterday?
We love
Mhm.
members.
That's
That's
incredible.
the first step.
Oh, actually, the donation ticker is we exceeded.
Oh, it already
5,000.
went.
Oh, wow.
It's
Yeah,
already
we're at
6,600.
Listen, we're
Okay, cool.
like the
We
established.
did it.
Pause.
Moving the
Okay.
Wow.
goalposts.
Okay, Gustavo. I see.
Amazing.
I see what you're doing.
Awesome. Well,
It's
thank
really
you,
not
everyone. We are so excited.
We are carrying
More
the
to
flame
come.
later.
More socialism to build in New York City and across the country.
My counsel is yelling at me.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone.
You know that meme that's like.
Wait, it's over?
Solidarity,
that.
comrades.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Okay. That's oh shit. Almost leaked your email in front of 24,000 people. Thank God I did not do that.
More ways you're trying to ruin my life.
I know. I mean, you it's only payback for what you've done. For what you've done to my hotel room. Anyway, no, this is you don't know who this is. You don't know who Olivia Reingold is. She's my personal bird dogger, my personal free press stalker. But I guess she's like assigned to the DSA beat in general. Is
You
anyone
should
else
Fox
on this
News.
DSA call right now? Anyone thinking, oh, that's just New York City, we'll be proven wrong. It might take an election cycle or two, but this movement is coming to your town.
Sounds great.
Wait, she says that like
it's a threat.
Yeah, she says that like it's a bad thing. Like that's a good thing. Trackers at 8K now. Good job, guys. I'm proud of you. Might I recommend? No, we're not doing that right now, man. We're not doing that. We have the newly minted Congresswoman in the building. Okay. Darializa Avila Chevalier. How are you feeling?
Honestly, it's just been such a surreal 48 hours.
Does it feel real yet? Like, do you feel like, what have you changed about your life so far? Do you have a different swagger about it when you're walking around? Like,
I'm a little sleep deprived right now.
Uh-huh.
So that has changed. And I mean, although I wasn't really sleeping much for the last few weeks of this campaign, but I don't know. It just feels really great to know that folks really were invested in this campaign and this movement and actually believe in the things that we've been fighting for. And I think back to even a few years ago where it felt like this type of politic just wasn't mainstream. And to know that not only have we won an election, but multiple elections on these issues is just really, really surreal. And, even just like getting up here and down here was just getting stopped a lot. With
Wait, really?
Yeah, folks congratulating me, saying
That's
I voted
sick.
for you. It was really exciting.
Hell yeah. It's gonna happen more frequently now too. What do you think is like special privileges of being a congressperson? Like, do you think will people be like, oh, here's a free donut when you're walking down the street? I mean, I know now you actually have restrictions on what you can be gifted.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, don't give me gifts, please. That's not why I do this. I think for me, it's really.
I learned from Espaillat. That's what you're supposed to do.
I think like one of the things that has been really exciting is that people now, like, it feels like people feel more excited to be in community with one another, and so it's like, even when it's like, oh, one person comes up and is like, oh my God, that's her, and then another person's like, oh, that is her, and then they start talking. Right. And I think that sense of community that's being brought through all of this is just really exciting and really like the kind of that's the thing at the heart of organizing is building community, and it's getting folks to actually talk to one another, engage, and feel like the city is collectively ours as opposed to one that too often we are told is just an isolating experience.
One of the things that I really love that you said on, I don't think it was on Democracy Now! It might have been, I don't know, one of the interviews that you were doing where they asked you, it was MS Now. And they were asking you about like how you will deal with Democrats in Congress that will disagree with you, right? And you talked about being an organizer and how you deal with people that you disagree with all the time. And I think it would be nice to use that background and to explain to people in my community as well. Some might tell them all the time, like, be normal.
Yeah.
You don't have to always be based, okay? And be unlikable. It's good. It pays dividends when you're normal, when you're talking to people. What have you learned about coalition building from your experience as an organizer?
I mean, to your point, I think just be normal, be yourself. And like, that is where the coalition gets built. It's through the trust building, right? If I sense that you're not being yourself, that inherently puts a barrier between us, right? And so it makes it harder to actually be able to connect and to know that when you say something, you mean it and you're earnest. And, in organizing, you can only move as fast as the speed of trust. And if that trust isn't there, that nothing else can come from it. You can disagree vehemently on a number of things, but if I can trust that you're telling the truth, if I can trust that this is your reality, right, as you're experiencing it, then that's an entry point, right? We can actually have conversations about those things, even if we have different experiences of that same thing. And I think for too often what we have is people who are trying to sound smarter on an issue or sound like, well, there's no way that experience can ever be because my experience is this. When in reality, like, all of us have our own version of what an experience is, and to be able to actually just listen to one another and see truth in it, right, can also be the thing that connects us to get to a shared experience where we can move forward.
And I feel like a lot of the issues that the DSA slate has advanced, and especially you and Claire at the congressional level, are issues that are very uniting. These are common economic struggles that every American faces, regardless of their background, regardless of their demographics, regardless of where they live around the country. And therefore, as long as you stay on message, as long as you show people that your goals are to improve everyone's lives and to chart a different path forward and instill confidence in the American public and good governance, one that actually puts their needs over the interests of corporations, I feel like regardless of other disagreements, whatever they might be, those are all going to come secondary.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And I think, you know, at the heart of it, so much of what politics is about people just wanting to feel that they can have a dignified life and that they have power over that, right? That they can have self-actualization and be able to make decisions for themselves and their loved ones about how to live their lives. And we're stripped of that by these economic systems, by these systems of oppression, and to be able to build coalition with folks to actually self-actualize ourselves despite these systems, I think is so powerful. I actually really appreciated what you said at the end of that call, because, you know, the places that I've felt most empowered is in organizing. It's feeling the anxiety of the world around me that, you know, is inherently disempowering, and then saying, well, what can I control? And maybe it's just making a few phone calls to voters, right? Maybe it's just asking people to come to an organizing meeting. Maybe it's just asking people to like discuss theory with me about how do we move forward in this world.
Yeah, no, it's about regaining a sense of control in areas where you can. It's about building autonomy for yourself. This is something that I stress all the time to my audience about, like the power of labor organizing. Like when you unionize your workplace, like you're taking back ownership over a piece of your productive output. And it builds agency, and it builds confidence, and it builds a sense of community. And that's why I think it's important to get involved in these campaigns, because like we can sit around and be black-pilled all the time and talk about how terrible everything is. And there's plenty of people who do that, and I've done it. I've done my fair share of it as well. But I think it's far more rewarding to actually be able to go out and you know, be the change that you want to see. Go out and actually make that change happen. And I mean, that's why I was very excited about your candidacy in particular, because like we don't usually get a lot of people that we align with, not only just politically, but also like we don't. Like it's a unique experience to be able to vote for something. And it always makes me think, like, I wonder if these like centrist guys on Twitter, like, you know, is Neera Tanden always like feeling ecstatic because she's like, oh, it's great, another centrist is getting elected? Like, is that what it is? Another
same.
Yeah, chalk it up. Another brave warrior for incremental gain that's not going to go anywhere. Like, is that how they feel all the time? It must be electric to be a centrist. Well, probably not after last night. What is the craziest thing you've heard from people so far? Because there is a real sense of panic amongst some of the worst people in American politics.
You know, I haven't spent too much time focused on that. I've been
That's
more...
crazy. I would be literally last night. You know what I did last night? You
went on a deep dive?
I went on Twitter and started replying to, like, you know, 1,000 follower accounts being like, what's up? Or checking in on this race. They'd be like, Darializa, I hope she doesn't win. I was like, checking in on this. Are you doing all right? How's everything going? You know, I was just making sure that they were all right, because it seemed like they were struggling.
I appreciate
You know, I wanted to lend a helping hand in their trying time. So that's what I did. That's how I'm a chud ass loser.
Thank you for your service.
And that's how I spent my time instead of celebrating. Like literally, they were like, "Oh, let's go to the after party." I was like, "No, I'm busy. I'm busy with very important things,
you know,
that I have to do."
I just like, I think we get so few wins on the left that it felt really important to me to just
we're putting numbers
like,
on the board now.
You know, and I think like it's exciting that we're in a point where we can start to get used to that feeling, right? And not used to it in the sense of like, let's get complacent, but used to it in the sense of like, great, we just won. What do we do now? And like, how quickly can we build towards something even more, right? And yeah, I'm just like really excited. And again, it's a little sleep deprived, so I'm really looking forward to a nap. And
so for the people who might not be aware, I'm sure everyone in this community is aware, but like, what is this? I've been looking at this all day, okay? And they're talking about DSA candidates set to push a radical left agenda. So what's this radical left agenda that they're talking about in your own words? Like, what is so radical about the things that you are seeking to advance?
You know, I think housing is a human right. And,
disgusting.
You know,
I disavow, guys. I didn't know that. I stand with the big landlords.
These poor landlords that are losing.
Yeah,
their right to just abuse their tenants.
The small mom and pop landlords that only own like 1,000 units. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, they're
forcing people to live in squalor.
Yeah. That's. I was already off on the Zoran train when he was doing the whole. You know who else was doing the landlord shaming? Mao. Mao Zedong. Heard of him? Yeah, that's right.
Isn't it within reach? It's right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It is by my bedside. It's a book that I haven't been able to finish yet. But once I get to that chapter, once I get to the Cultural Revolution side, it's going to be really scary. That's why I'm holding on to it. Yeah. What if? Okay. Question. What if, when we raise the cost of rent, it makes people grind harder? Have you thought about that?
I think people grind very hard as it is.
Okay, but what if they were? What if this forced them to grind even harder?
I think that might just make things worse.
Alpha mindset.
You know, I wonder how much grinding the landlords will have to do.
Yeah.
Like, would that change at all?
Well, they're already grinding so hard. Have you ever
by owning?
Yeah. Do you know how difficult it is
to own?
To be a rentier? Do you know how tough it is? No one ever thinks about how difficult it is to, hire a guy off the street for $5 to just paint white paint over everything, including mold. Yes. Yeah. Well, Trump is a big landlord. He's doing that at the reflecting pool right now. All right. So you got. Housing is a human right. That's one. What are some other radical agenda items that you have that you were seeking to push?
Abolishing ICE.
Okay, that's very scary.
And making sure that we are using our tax dollars to invest in our babies here at home and not in bombs that are killing babies abroad. Want to make sure that we're actually addressing childhood poverty. So expanding the child tax credit. We know that during the pandemic, it brought childhood poverty rates to an all-time low, historic lows. And so we should continue expanding it, right? Making sure that we're funding education, because actually New York City has the most segregated school system in the country. And I think a lot of folks don't actually know that. And when we start privatizing schools through charter schools and forcing people out of the public school system, we actually deepen that segregation.
Yeah. Which takes away already exhausted funds away from public schools and redirects it to charter schools that are unaccountable. I mean, some of them might be all right in New York, but at the end of the day, the charter system is absolutely abysmal. Schools close in the middle of the school year, no accountability whatsoever,
and also no accountability to the students themselves. Right? Where a lot of students just get suspended and expelled left and right, and then sometimes it's because of questions of funding.
Yeah. Since the 90s, it was a big thing for the Democratic Party to implement the charter system, and it was their way of also destroying the teachers' union. It's it was a deliberate attempt to do that. Okay, what else?
Medicare for all.
Okay, that's too much. It's a bridge too far.
Get people unionized.
So but think
both
about
labor and tenant unions.
Do you not think about the GDP? I'm so confused. What about the GDP?
This is what happens when you put a politics of people over profit.
It's messed up.
I don't think about the GDP as your first concern.
Okay, what about people who are executives at healthcare companies that are their yearly income is relying on making sure that they deny healthcare coverage that people already paid for to grandmothers, especially grandmothers that might they might have bad vibes.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you really think grandmas have bad vibes?
They could. Not my grandma.
I was gonna say I don't. Well,
but
someone's grandma has bad vibes.
What if it was a racist grandmother?
That actually is a thing.
Yeah, got him. That's right. Okay, we got him. All right.
That doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve health care, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, true. Fair. Okay. Well, you got this radical left agenda you're pushing.
Mm-hmm.
What are how does this work? How do you get onboarded? Is someone going to
meeting?
Is someone going to teach you what to do? Because you're just
on how to be a radical leftist.
No, I meant how to be how to be a congressperson.
Oh, I mean, there you bring in a strong team, right?
Mm-hmm.
You bring folks who one, know what they're doing in terms of the skill sets, right, that are needed for the different positions, but also folks who have done this before, right?
You still have the general too, obviously.
Still have the general, but
we're
also
talking about it like
district.
It's a done deal, but it's a district that's
Yeah, but this district is Democrat, so.
Yeah.
I think in this process, what we're really excited to be able to do is build just a really strong coalition, so that by the time that we step into office in January, that trust is there with the grassroots orgs and the different community members, so that we can actually have people be part of that process of governing.
One of the things that happened, by the way, we're at 12K in donations to DSA since that call started. One of the things that happened that I am personally very annoyed by that you were a victim to was the idea that you are wholly incapable of ever joking. You're not capable of humor. You're not capable of hyperbole, and that everything that you've ever said in the past, when you were just a random civilian, was treated as a sincere mandate that you were on board with, including, and they keep repeating it because once they cover it as it is, they'll say that you were anti-race mixing. That was one of those things. So how did you feel about that? And do you feel like you won not just for radicals, but also for posters? That's right. You did. Now own it.
Listen,
own it, Queen.
I
own
think
it. You won for posters. This was a huge deal because look, you're 32.
I think we have to have a conversation around what it means for young people to be able to take elected office, right? Because I think a lot of us have a footprint. Right?
Yeah.
And I deleted my account because I just felt like my energy was better spent doing my research, doing organizing. And it was, if I remember correctly, it was also around the time that there was conversations about Elon buying this. So I was like, deuces, I'm out. But I think
no blue sky?
I do not have a blue sky.
You
No,
dodged a
I
bullet.
mean for the campaign, yes, but no,
dodged,
I never.
You dodged a bullet.
I think that we need to have an honest conversation around what it means to be a young person who grew up with the internet, right? And what it means to then step into a very public role and the scrutiny that you get through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be a lack of understanding that people grow, people change, you become more just nuanced in your thinking, but also to your point, sometimes people just say engage in hyperbole, right? Or not.
Oh, I know.
Is,
I'm no stranger to hyperbole.
And and I think sarcasm gets lost for a lot of people in terms of reading things. And the thing that hurt me most about the way that all of that was handled was that it was my words, right? And it was causing division and taking away from the conversation that we needed to be having, right? Where in a district where we get overlooked so often, instead of talking about housing, instead of talking about immigration, instead of talking about childhood poverty, we were all of a sudden having conversations around, tweets from when I had no political power, from when I was just a 20-something-year-old who was frustrated with the world.
Yeah. Speaking of those frustrations, one of the things that Espaillat plastered everywhere that I also was a little worried about, I'm not going to lie, was your core retweeted Kamala Harris telling Guatemalan migrants not to come to the United States of America, where she famously said, "Do not come." I normally have a soundboard. I don't have it here, but that's one of the things that I play all the time because it's funny. but it wasn't funny at the time when she was saying it. And that was a moment of frustration for you. And as someone who has voted for Democrats, do you feel like you have every right to express your frustration at the Democratic Party? Or should we actually offer unlimited fealty to the Democrats, even if they're actually doing things that they objectively told us they weren't going to do, like Biden, who ran on a first 100 days of immigration strategy that claimed that they were going to actually do amnesty for undocumented immigrants. Very popular policy position.
Yeah,
by the
no,
way.
I think criticism, we should always be engaging in it where it like is valid, right? Especially when they are saying one thing and then their policy is reflecting something else.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, yeah, I think people, as you grow, you become more articulate, more nuanced in how you say things. I think for me, when I apologized in the debate to Vice President Harris, and I think part of that has a lot to do.
She watches, so if you want to, if you got some more words for her, you can say.
Well, I think for me, that was rooted in not only the fact that like we could have engaged in a conversation that would have landed better. I mean, I also thinking of the fact I was a 20-something-year-old. I didn't think she was looking at my Twitter account. Never thought.
You think she's seen it? She's got to.
I don't know. I mean, at this point, maybe.
How do you think she feels that someone who said fuck Kamala Harris defeated the long-term incumbent?
I think as someone who has been like facing a lot of vitriol and a lot of really like harmful language, and I think also the fact that as an organizer, you're always trying to communicate in a way that actually lands for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I regret that because I would never want someone to feel dehumanized or attacked for not the subject, but as themselves, right? Like, I don't want people to feel that it's them that I'm like attacking.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, and I think that's where a lot of that was coming from for me, where the whole point of organizing is to build trust and build community and bring people into that work. And you can't do that if you're constantly in a state of like attacking the person, right? You have to attack the ideas. And I think we always should be very critical, especially when there's like really harmful behavior that's coming from, especially from a party that says it's fighting for us, right? And if that is not actually the case, of course we gotta criticize it.
So, do you feel like there is like I was joking about the posters right thing, obviously, but do you feel like the environment has actually shifted a little bit? Because like these sorts of things would be considered like significant setbacks even like 5 years ago, I feel like. And nowadays I think people are so hungry for change that even a diverse district such as yourself with, a lot of older voters in it as well, voters that normally would see that sort of thing and immediately go, I'm done with this, are willing to overlook that, even if they don't fully grasp like what you said, or maybe they didn't even hear that you apologized for it, but ultimately they were just like, I don't really care. I just want someone to be to represent this change, to be a fighter. Do you feel like there's a real opportunity there? Because right now, Melot Quiros is under attack by Diane DeGette. She's more of a faux progressive. I want to say she's like as much of a establishment hardliner as Adriana Espaillat is, but the attacks in Denver is a very woke district, and the attacks have turned very vicious.
Yeah, and
they're also running the same play, saying that she's not like Denver, she's not real Denver. She's of course an immigrant, and it's getting a little bit more intense. And one of the things that they're bringing up is like, oh, she's posted things. Like there's this ambiguous idea out there that she is also unserious or has posted things in the past. Do you feel like people are more open-minded towards that sort of thing? And like, what would be your advice to someone like Melot Quiros?
Well, I think Melot is great. I'll start there, and I think she's running an incredible campaign, and I'm just really excited to see her cross the finish line.
Yeah.
But I think the smears and these level of attacks, like most people I've spoken to see them for what they are, a desperate attempt to grab onto or hold on to power that they have and that they know they're about to lose, right? And I think the fact that they are so focused on attacking us, right, for who we are as people and not like the substance of anything. Because Maylad and I didn't not have any political power, right? When I'm actually not even sure what the tweets are that they're referencing in her case.
I don't either. No, it's like, it's this like weird ambiguous thing where the Denver Post said her tweets were obscene, and that's it. Like that's what the attack ad says, and they never show it. And then they also do this thing where they don't say that she's DSA affiliated, but instead, because they now know that like DSA is becoming this like very popular organization, so the attack ad actually says she's affiliated with an organization, they don't name it, that wants to abolish all borders and abolish the police, or abolish ICE. Or actually, they don't even mention abolish ICE because that's another very popular position. So it's just they say it's offensive and radical, and they just leave it at that. And I think it speaks to like an unwillingness to actually reflect, right? Because like, how is it that we're having a conversation about accountability to versions of ourselves that had no political power, but not having accountability to the people who did hold political power, whose daily decisions had an impact on millions of people across the country and across the world, right? And I think it's just a deflection of accountability, really. It's a deflection to the responsibility that they have to their constituents. And the fact that we spent so much of this campaign, or my campaign, having to say that, right? To say like, hey, like, we can talk about my tweets, but like the topic here are the things that people are actually living through and the things that the violence that they have been subjected to because of the failed policies of the representatives we have had. Why is it that we are not asking Espaillat to do a direct-to-camera to the working people of this district who have been forced out of it? Why is it that he's not saying, I'm sorry to Noor Mahmoud? Why is it that he's not saying, I'm sorry to, the millions of people who are affected by his vote to arm Israel, by his votes to, fund ICE? Like these are questions of serious harm. And that in and of itself, there's this very frustrating thing that I see all the time where we look at the violence of systems or the violence of countries. And we treat it as though that's normal.
Right.
And yet what you say in opposition to that violence, that's the real drama. That's the real issue at hand. And I'm like, no, the real issue at hand is like children are being slaughtered in the hands of American munitions that we ship over to Israel that the Israeli Air Force is using. That's the real problem, not like your feelings when you're challenged on your unambiguous defense of this system. And it's very frustrating, but I think it's something that we just have to work through, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Darializa, thank you so much. Bianca, where's my gift?
Gift, brother.
The
I even got a second one.
Where?
Newspaper?
No, not the newspaper. I asked you for something specific.
She's got to get out of the frame.
Okay.
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 Well, I will see you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for.
Will I ever know what this gift is?
You missed it. You left it.
Okay. Bianca left it. Guess I will never find out what this gift is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
It's a collector's item.
I will get it to you.
And you are my witness, because now everyone else will, now that this race is over, everyone else will be like, oh yeah, I knew. I was very confident, and like I knew I wanted it. It's your mailer.
I was like, what does this connect? Like, this was a really abrupt transition. Okay.
As soon as I saw that tweet that landed on my timeline, I was like, Bianca, I need one of these.
And I got you one.
And
I
okay.
also have, we'll talk about it.
Okay. All right. I was like, I need this to look at and go,
I'm never gonna live it down.
No, not at all. I mean, I think you have to dab up Kamala Harris. Like you have to do like one of those, Okay, I'm letting it go. I'm not talking about this any longer. Anyway, All right, Darializa, thank you so much for coming on. This has been an incredibly exciting journey. I'm so happy that you won. New York DSA on top. You're gonna do amazing things in Congress, and I'm very stoked. I'm always here to help out whatever you guys need.
Thank you.
Of course.
I really appreciate it.
All right, everybody. On that
Bye,
note,
chat.
I'm gonna end it here because we're already at 7 hours and 30 minutes, and I will play us out, and I will make up for the carrying of the flame tomorrow. Okay, I'm not gonna do that with. I've already.
Gosh. My counsel.
Yeah.
Is always trying to get me in trouble.
Yeah. No. This is all right. All right, everybody. Bye. See you. I'll be in LA tomorrow. Okay. Bye.